Hello, hello. Currently looking at the borderline between Queensland, Australia, and Northern Territory, consisting of Alice Springs and Darwin, while Queensland is host to a very large eastern tourism board. Brisbane and other cities, Gold Coast, beaches, New South Wales, getting further down there where it gets to be more greener. What we're currently looking at are evolving fire behavior just around this border. I'm going to push play, and particularly this one right here is a monster. Well, they're all monsters, but it's he wants my back. Oh, he's... This is Scully. Wants to be in the shot. He wants to be on my shoulders. He wants to get sent around my neck. Try to get my glasses behind my ear. He is awesome. Boy. Now back to this plume right here. It's the fire spreading down south, or they rephrase that, it's spreading in the direction of the south. And this is just ripping this land apart. And of course, nighttime, twilight, is the last chance you get to see the wildfires, the smoke structure, the plumes. If there's any active fire that you can see on the land, all that's only during the day. During nighttime, see the smoke here and possible and wildfire. Nighttime, nothing. So you have to wait until their morning, to be able to follow up on fire. The fires probably died down over the night. The winds slow down, cooler, but the temperatures that Australia's been seeing, they've been seeing a steady 40°C across the entire country of Northern Territory, Western Australia. The temperatures. This was yeah, 41°C, 41°C, 40°C, 43°C in Western Australia, so we'll probably see some fires in Western Australia too. There is drought up here, all along the northern section before you get into the peninsula of Northern Territory. And Queensland is really moist. It's it became very saturated before Cyclone Jasper, and all of that water has to go somewhere. It's not going to be able to go into the water tables because it's saturated, and it goes any further outside the cities, it's might going to hit a burn scar and it's just super speed. And then coupled with the high temperatures, we're probably going to find quite a few fires in Queensland and Western Australia. I already covered Northern Territory yesterday, and that was I wait a little bit longer for another set of scans. But the Western Australia and Queensland are probably seeing some pretty impressive fires. Well, at least we know Queensland is, because just looking at them. This one's the Northern Territory. Most of these fires in Northern Territory around these drought, rocky areas. You get a lot of bush fires that burn all sorts of directions because these vegetation climbs. Fire will burn the vegetation climbing. Outcropping. Now, let's see. Just taking a look at the air quality. There's ozone there. Dust always in South Australia. Let me use different. Carbon monoxide. Oh, yeah, 1000 P. 1000 P. This isn't nearly as bad as it was earlier. It was, almost the entire Northern Territory that was under a severe carbon dioxide rating or level. Particulates. See that? These are the fires that we were just looking at over here. Not in Western Australia, I'm sorry. Queensland to Northern Territory. Definitely the fires there. Are those bigger bushfires? Well, that's one. Now let's see, we have Sentinel Hub already pulled up, so let's start with Queensland. Fires that we were just looking at by Mount. These I just seen a dozen fires, so let's start from the south. I have no reason to suspect fire in this area this far south of Queensland, where there's an explosion. Very deep-seated fire that's going to become very strong fire. All these bushfires meeting up, creating a fire here that will continue its path up. It looks like smoke, but no, I don't think that's cloud coverage. Let me change my settings. Virtually no fire in this area. And then, so the fire starts at both northern side here and the southern side here. Date up here is top right. This is 12/21. Next slide. This is '23rd. So let's get a measurement on the distance here. How far this fire ran in just 2 short days. I would say with the bend, it's going to be about 40 kilometers. So 40 kilometers, this fire ran in 2 days. Let's go a bit higher up and oh, we got this fire. It's here alongside this road. Virtually no fire in this area, and then 21st, the 23rd. So problem with Queensland is they have a lot of moisture, a lot of saturation, a lot of moisture in the soil. But fire, heat drives water and moisture away, and smoke pollutes it, ash falls into it. It's just ripping out the land and sending smoke spiraling all over Queensland. It's caught up in the Gulf of Carpentaria, I believe it's called, and that just sends it south to the Northern Territory. So this recycling of air going from Queensland north to Northern Territory is causing a lot of grief because it's just recycled hot wind from fires that were in the Northern Territory, the Northern Queensland area. Very northern. Let's see. It looks like the fire burned a little bit north too, so we'll just push play. Some massive fire gains just eating. 1, 2, 3, 4. Came up. Went down. Tucked itself in here. Came back out. Now it's going to come back out again depending on the wind. The massive fire building up here. This is a wildfire. This is not a bushfire or brush fire. This is... let's see how big it is. 27 kilometers. So we're seeing a lot of very large fire outbreaks in Queensland, Australia, which has largely been dominated by rain. Many weeks of rain. Feels like anyway. Weeks of rain in just a couple of days. Saturated moist ground. As soon as that starts letting up, that fire can rip the moisture minerals out of the ground. Drive the water deeper and further away. Because it's boiled away, it's retreating from the heat. It's reducing. These fires not only destroy the local ecology they're introduced to, smoke as well acts as a pestilence because nothing thrives under smoke. These fires are substantial enough. Let me make a time lapse of this. This is a long fire here. Ooh, push play again. Just immense amount of gains. Definitely wind driven. A lot of lush fuel. Massive. Very strange. See the smoke here. A lot of smoke. Pretty big fires. Really impressive. Amount of gains this fire's been having. There's no fire here. That's an older fire. Damn. Okay. We have a few very pressing fires currently in Queensland, Australia. Out in the middle, pretty much the very center of the closer to the Northern Territory boundary border. Fire here. Queensland is seeing very sudden uptick of wildfire. Looks just completely wind driven. That's just huge. Every fire so far has had some really monster gains. They're just all within the last 2 days. Can't even tell which way this is going. Well, in every direction, but it's plugging around slopes, just burning the land. Animals, flora, all kinds of fauna, all prey to the flames. Not prey, it's not a predator. It is tearing apart the land at a really rapid pace compared to what we were just looking at in the Northern Territory area. That is a lot more dry and drought stricken than Queensland. What is going on? This is the 6th large fire that we've seen. And this is another one of these large fires that look like one of the other ones we looked at just from, say, like 2 or 3 frames before it gets too big to ignore the smoke. Burns really hot, really fast, and burns out. Last. Yeah. Smoke plume right here. That's from the wildfire. That's billowing, thick, billowing black smoke. Absolutely might not see it Usually, when the fire is hot enough, you'll be able to see the fire that's still there. A lot of heat. So let's go back down. This guy again. There's a lot of smoke. See, also, Australia has 0 air quality stations or sensors, gauges, anything. There are 2 for all of Northern Territory. I think there's 3 in Western Australia, and it's just Brisbane South that gets these things. They're not expensive. All of them. You have a moral and ethical right to issue all this tourism. People that go backpacking, hiking, mountain climbing, rock climbing are going into areas that are heavy with carbon, soot, ash. You're gonna wind up with a respiratory infection or something. Because there's wildfire smoke, it could be anything, and you don't know what it burned. Just know that this smoke is something you would want to avoid. But it being so heavy. Ready? Looks like a paw print. Yeah, this fire burned. Well, it just did. From the 18th to 23rd, there's little to no activity. And then an explosion of fire behavior. It runs its course to the slope. There's water, slope, and it's going to go around the fire here. Still burning, still hot. You have wind that's going in one way, let's just say it's south. Inside this valley, ditch, or river, you're going to have the wind going clockwise, counterclockwise, either way. It's going to be a 90-degree turn from where this was being beaten down with. And it comes out. It uses its own momentum to keep riding it, making these lash marks, these union marks, union symbols. And then that's how a lot of these fires survive, is they abuse slopes to keep going around and around and around. It gives it so many more chances to continue its burn patterns on a larger scale. Because if it clicks, if it goes a couple of clicks down the river, and it starts burning in an area that hasn't been introduced to fire yet, going to start cycle all over again just a little bit further down the stream. Ditch or channel or river, creek. Pretty substantial bushfires. I was more worried about the smoke. That is a silent killer. Will make you sick. This kind of smoke, especially. Nothing thrives under smoke, and this fire just started. Just an explosion of activity between the 8th and the 13th. There are over a dozen large fires that I would say half of them are out of control. Just due to the fact that they're difficult to access areas, probably hitting with water, helicopter or something. They get too big to ignore. There's too many, too numerous, they're too large. It starts becoming more lethal. Skip over Northern Territory, go to Western Australia, which we have a scan of this. Back over Western Australia. Kilometers. Now, Western Australia is seeing a great deal of drought because it's fire season. Lush, tree, beautiful alien landscapes depending on where you go in Australia. It's just a completely different world. I have my head going over these parts of Australia and what they look like on the ground. It would be spectacular. These fires are mean. They're just annoyingly small or in random places that are difficult to access, and they keep getting hammered. The time lapses area. Little to no fire, but there could have been something, an ember that was burning for a while. Time lapses. But we are not seeing any fire really in these areas before they start burning in Western Australia, which there is a lot of droughts. So these fires can become very big problems quickly. Speak of drought, let's just go take a look at it. So yeah, it's just in the area that we were looking at. Queensland right up here, Northern Territory and Western Australia, all these rounds of drought. Hot right here. Let's take a look. True color. See that smoke. Look at that. Look at that. This is fire right here. Fire. Looking at flames. There's the smoke. Not made to represent. It's not what the satellite thinks is fire, and script attributes it, gives it attributes to what it looks like. No, you're looking at flame caught on a satellite under a lot of smoke. This actually could be radar interference, because if you see the pattern here, I thought that was fire because I was only looking at this red mark here. See, there's pattern, 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 pattern. Yes, this is from a satellite artifacting. Still a lot of smoke though. It's not that we don't ever see fire. We do see fire from time to time when we're looking at these wildfires. Bushfires, brush fires. We time lapse this area. Few fires, but nothing major here. Besides, they're just being fires in Western Australia. Another fire in Western Australia. This is smoke. Not a lot of smoke, but probably a low-lying fire that is all over the place. One more time. Gonna be, so this fire looks like, not looks like, this is what it looks like. Fire start here, river, use slope, and also smoke drops particulates that are hot on the other side of the river. A 700-degree piece of bark falls into a pretty dry shrub. It's going to burn. Wow. Okay, so we're looking at a pretty big fire here. Yeah, right along the river, just like we're saying, always around the slopes. You have wind that's pulling in a different direction, that's acting as a vortex. Sucks and blows. Wildfire. Western Australia is seeing a bit of fire. This fire can become pretty severe though due to enormous drought. Okay, I believe that is all of the scans that we have available for today on the 23rd of December. In case I don't stream again, which I might. Happy holidays. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. I think that's everything. We went through the entire scans of Queensland and Western Australia and seen about 15 large fires that are currently within the last 2 days. This activity.